Yo guys, it's your boy Kofi150 back with another video for you guys today. Sorry guys, I've been off YouTube for a while. I was just finishing off my university degree and I've just been busy with a lot of stuff. Anyway, for today I've got the Insta360 One X review for you guys today. Another technology review for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy this, but let's just get straight into it.
So here it is guys, the Insta360 One X camera. So this is a 360 camera, which is essentially an action camera as well as being a 360 camera, and it's able to capture 360 motion. It means you don't miss any angles when you're recording, and it means you can choose any angle that you want to view what you recorded at. So it shoots 5.7K and it has HDR capabilities, 18 megapixel photo capability, so even your photos are great if you want to take some standing or still shots. This combined with the visible selfie stick means that when you actually are creating videos or taking photos, it means the selfie stick is not in the shot, which means that you can get some really great and amazing photos and drone type shots that you might have seen on Instagram or Snapchat or even YouTube. There's so many different tutorials on how to take these shots. I'm not the best for this, so if you want to find another YouTube channel, another video which will show you how to take these amazing shots, I've tried some of them and they are pretty cool, and the capabilities of this camera is pretty much endless. Also has flow state stabilization, which means that when you're recording, the actual content is quite still, even if you're, say for example, participating in sporting activities or anything like that where the camera may judder or may stutter quite a lot and move around quite a bit, so it kind of neutralizes that, which means that you get smooth content coming out of your camera. It also has cinematic slow-mo, so if you're creating a video or like a little movie, you can add slow-mo effects in there to really emphasize different parts of the content. Also, to actually get your videos off the camera is available to be connected to Wi-Fi, which means that you can just Wi-Fi preview and transfer the data files over to your phone, so you can instantly not only see your local files but also download them for the camera and edit them as well. Also guys, the camera is actually capable of shooting not just 5.7K at 30 fps but also 4K at 50 fps and 3K at 100 fps, which is pretty amazing. So you get different video modes which you can really utilize to get the best out of your content creation, which is another thing I want to move on to. There's actually so many additional accessories with the Insta360 One X. For example, the bullet time handle, which means you can just I think it's an attachment to the selfie stick, and then you can spin it around at the top of your head so you can get like a quick 360 motion around the environment, which is pretty cool. There's so many videos on it. If you check on YouTube, you'll definitely find one. It's pretty cool. It's something I looked at, but it's not really needed for my videos, but maybe in the future. So moving on to costings, this camera is actually very expensive, to be honest. Fortunately for me, I picked up from CX, which is a place where you can buy used items, like used electronic items, which is really good. It's available in the US and UK and I think many other countries as well. So I purchased it from CX for about £200, which is a good price considering, because normally it retails for about I think it's close to like 400 and something, but I think now because the Insta360 One X2 is out, it's a lot cheaper than it was before, so you can pick it up for a decent price. Originally I wanted to get just the Insta360 One R 360 module, but unfortunately it was out of stock. I think I mentioned this before, and that was like months ago when I wanted to buy the 360 module for the camera, and it's only now just come back in stock this month, which is absolutely insane. But it just shows you the high demand for these cameras and like how good they really are. However guys, if you do at the end of this video decide that you want to purchase the Insta360 One X, you can use my affiliate link below in the description. This will take you to the product exactly, and you'll be able to buy it through my link. Also guys, to let you know, if you purchase the Insta360 One X, you'll definitely need a memory card. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post another affiliate link to a memory card that I use personally, which I think is really good and it's never failed me or let me down. So yeah, check that in the description below. Design wise guys, looking at the Insta360 One X, it's an anthracite black all over. It's like a soft plastic material covering it, and you've got obviously the plastic lenses on the top and back sides of the camera, followed by the two buttons on the front side, just below, and just above the two buttons is the LED screen where you can just see what you're navigating through. and you use the bottom button to just navigate through the different like settings, for example, or the video camera setting, and you usually use the button slightly above that just to select it. Below that is a LED indicator right at the bottom, which tells you when the device is on, if it's out of charge, or when it's charging, etc. On the hand side, you'll find the battery. This battery is removable and it can be replaced. So if, for example, your battery over time, the battery health declines, then you can definitely replace the Insta360 One X battery, which means you can just keep this for a long time, which is a really good feature that I would recommend, because sometimes, let's say for example, in phones, for example, sometimes you can't take off the battery or take out the battery, which means that when the battery health declines, then you're kind of screwed, unless the company offers like a battery replacement, which they'll usually charge for at really high cost, because obviously the battery is not easily removable. And on the left hand side, you have the charging port. I think this is just a micro USB. I want to say micro USB for this. And then on the bottom, you have the ports for the selfie stick, where you can insert the selfie stick, the invisible selfie stick, and you have the memory card slot next to it, which just clicks in place. So overall, it's quite a simplistic design, but it's really effective, and it's actually quite beautiful, to be honest, considering it's just a camera. Like, the cameras are quite chunky and stuff like that, but of course this has to be portable, because obviously if you're like, say, using it for sports, for example, you have to be quite portable, not chunky, so it doesn't weigh you down. But also, yeah, it's quite rigid, to be honest, as well. But I would say that it does feel like it's quite easy to scratch. Fortunately for me, I haven't dropped it yet. If I do, I feel as though that'll be the end of it. So it does come with a protective bag, so when you do take it out, you can just slide it in a protective bag and cover it, so it doesn't get any scratches or anything when you're transporting it or before usage. But I feel as though it probably needs like an actual case for the whole thing, including a case over the lens, but I don't think you can really get a case over the lens without compromising the quality, or I don't know if there's any available, to be honest, but I know there's definitely cases for it. So if you guys get this, I guess I would suggest looking into cases for it as well. So guys, let's take a quick look at the pros of the camera. So you get 360 video, and this is something that's amazing, and it's amazing technology to be able to see every single angle, or just view any angle that you want to point or focus in on, which I think is absolutely amazing. So already that puts ahead of any camera that just shoots exactly just what's in front of it. Also, it allows, if you're doing sports, especially for me, I do skating, so it's hard to record, really, especially when you, like, say for example, doing like long distance skates or anything like that. So this comes in really handy, and being able to record without a cameraman, because of course having a cameraman is not really, I don't look to the prices, but I'm guessing it's expensive to hire like a cameraman to follow you around. So I guess this is cheaper, and also it works for you long term. And whenever you want to record, you can just go out and record. You don't need to wait on anyone or anything like that. I think it's perfect for all sports. I feel, especially with the accessory of the venture case, I think it's a venture case, don't quote me on that, which offers water protection, so you can take it like underwater. I feel as though, like, for any sport, any activity you want to film and get the 360 motion and really capture the moment, that's why I think this is a great camera for that. So I think it's perfect for all sports, or any content creation like that, or even exploration. Say for example, like going into mountains and stuff, I can imagine using this camera and just like being able to take in the whole environment in 360 motion. I think it'd be crazy to look back, because when I review my content and see what I've created, it's just amazing to look back and see the angles and see all that I'm seeing. The camera sees everything that I see plus more, and I think it's just amazing, especially for memories and stuff like that. Also, I really like how they've made their own app for editing. I think this is really useful, especially with 360 videos. I think it's important, because it means that you can actually just use the actual software which is meant for it, instead of trying a third-party software. So the actual app, using it is actually really good. It's a bit of a learning curve, but it's quite simple to use, and you'll pick it up quite quickly, and you can edit your videos really fast on your phone, or even if you download the Insta360 Studio onto your laptop as well, which is great. I like to use my phone sometimes I like to use the Studio. So yeah, that's really fine to edit on. Exporting is quite quick as well, so I have no problem with it. Flow state stabilization is also another advantage, definitely. it means that your videos don't appear shaky, they appear smooth, like you've got the most steady hand, because especially when I'm skating, my hands are not really steady, because obviously there's little bumps in the road, stuff like that. So even when it's smooth for a while, it may not go smooth, but when you see the content I make, it's quite generally smooth. If you check my Instagram, you'll see that the camera is really good because it just smooths out all the rough edges and all the camera shakes and stuff like that, so it just looks super smooth. Also, another pro is also the invisible selfie stick. Having an invisible selfie stick is actually something, it's so simplistic but it's so effective. For example, if I had like a ordinary selfie stick and I'm recording, then you'll just see the selfie stick half the time, and you wouldn't be focused on my body or seeing like the actual, or feeling the skating experience, especially in my videos. So that's one thing I really do like about it as well, that's the option, and they're not too expensive, the invisible selfie sticks. I think I bought mine for about £18 or something like that. It's quite expensive, but they're probably more than like obviously a basic selfie stick, but it's not outrageous. Also, the camera has cool features such as time shifts. I haven't tried time shifts, but time shifts is like when, say for example, you record for a long time, you can just shift quickly to a location, it will speed up. Essentially, it will just speed up what you've recorded to the certain destination, but it looks really good. And with the way it's done, is very, very high quality. So like one of my top advantages of the 360 camera, especially the Insta360 One X, is the fact that you can choose any angle. So sometimes when I'm skating, like I switch to backwards. So when I switch to backwards, on the app I just change the angle, so you can see that I'm transitioning into backwards, and I think it's really cool because you see, like I said, you gain the whole experience. You see exactly what I see and feel what I feel when I'm skating or just doing activities in general. You can feel the presence around you. I think it's so amazing that I can do that. Also, the portability. For me, skating, sometimes I have a rucksack, which is fine. Obviously, a lot of things can fit in a rucksack. Any camera could probably fit in a rucksack. But sometimes I like to take my side bag, which goes across my body, a crossbody bag, and even then my camera can still fit in there, so I can still have a nice skate and not feel weighed down by a bag or rucksack, and I can still take my camera to record when I want to. So it's just great. It's that portable, and the selfie stick can obviously retract into a smaller format, which is great, and it's able to fit in my bag, so I have no problems with the portability, and I think it's great. As I mentioned before, the Insta360 One X has many accessories you can buy for it. For example, you can get this dart which creates a drift shot, so when you throw it, it shoots at the camera, and you can see from like a really crazy ongoing angle. It's hard to explain, but if you type in drift shot Insta360 One X, you'll definitely find it, and it's actually amazing how it's done. So they have so many accessories that I can't name them all off the top of my head, but if you go to the Insta360 website, you'll see all of them and how they can be useful to you. So I definitely do recommend that. Also, the image quality. The image quality is really good. So 5.7K basically means that it just captures the 360 motion. In reality, when it's exported and you've edited the video, it's 1080p. I think that's the highest resolution it can go, which is really good. And the quality is really clear, crystal clear. Obviously not as good as 4K video, but it's still very good. And I'm presuming in the future Insta360 probably will create a 4K capable 360 camera, which will be great. Also, I know the Insta360 One X 2 is out. However, Insta360 are still supporting the Insta360 One X. You can still get firmware updates and app updates and bug fixes and stuff like that, and you can even use the new Insta360 One R app with it, which I use. So the company's still carrying on with the updates, so it's still still future proof. So that's a good thing, because I know obviously sometimes when new version of things released by companies, they just cancel the last version, so like no updates for it, so to make you buy the next version. But it's really good that they don't. So that's why I think it's still good in 2021, and I think for me, I'll probably use this for I can see myself using this for the next 3 years or so, because it's, again, you're getting the updates, the image quality is still really good. I know it'll come a time where we switch to 4K. So the cons of the Insta360 One X, there is quite a few cons that I have found, in my opinion. So for example, durability. In all honesty, because it's made of a plastic shell and it's quite soft, I don't think it's very durable. It feels quite sturdy in the hand, of course, but I feel as though if you're using this camera, sometimes you might drop it, or especially if you're doing sports like skating or whatever you do. And it honestly, I feel as though if it drops once, it's game over for it. And I've seen a lot of videos where people dropped it once, scratched the lens, and they've had to get a completely new handset because of it. Or just if they've dropped it and it's literally just broken, because it doesn't feel fragile, but it feels like if you drop it, especially if you're like doing, say for example, like cycling on a bike or stuff like that, if it falls off, I feel as though it's game over for you. I suppose if you use it, like say for example in the house or something like that, you should be fine, for example, but I think when it gets outside, there's always that risk. So again, that's why I would recommend a case. But I don't know if there's any lens covers for it. I know there's lens covers for the Insta360 One R. However, I don't think there's any for the One X. If I'm wrong, please let me know, because I'll definitely be getting them myself. Another thing is the learning curve with the app. The app is it's not too bad to learn, but I feel as though some features could have been done a bit better. And so I'll just say, like, the learning curve is not that steep. You will get there eventually, probably like a week or less than a week to learn it, but I feel as though there still is a learning curve, and some things are quite weird how to edit on there, and like technical, especially when you're trying to like turn and get a different angle. It can be quite difficult to get the perfect angle that you want, so sometimes you might spend yourself just like scrolling to get the perfect angle, which is a bit annoying, but it's worth it though. I still enjoy the experience on there. Another disadvantage I've noticed is the quality in low light. So say for example, when you're shooting in low light, the quality can be a bit lower, I would say, and a little bit just unclear, to be honest. So say for example, when I was skating and going through like this pathway where there's like a lot of trees like over the top of you, so it's quite shaded, it did struggle the camera. You can see that in some of my videos if you have a look. It did struggle, but when it's in like normal light setting or like bright light setting, it does perform really, really well. It's just at sometimes in low light, it's not very well. So I wouldn't say at night time this is probably not the best camera to use, to be honest. You're not going to get the best out of it. But when it's like during the middle of the day, early evening or morning, I'll say it's great. Another disadvantage I would say is the price of the camera. When these cameras first came out, especially the Insta360 One X, I don't know the price exactly, but it's hovering at the £400 to £500 mark, which is really expensive. I think now, because the Insta360 One X2 is out, it's a lot cheaper. I think maybe you probably get at like, I want to say you can probably get below £300, which is good. I would say that's good, the price now that you can get it for. But I'll say the price when it was like first released or around that time, I'll say no, it's really expensive for what it is. But it would be worth it in its way, because I feel as though like if you had a cameraman, then you're paying for that cameraman, and also be times that cameraman maybe not be able to film you, or etc, etc. So I think the price is expensive for what it is. I think the original price is expensive for what it is. I wouldn't say the price now you can get it for is. Another disadvantage I would say is sometimes there can be stitching problems with the camera. I'm not sure why this happens. Actually, no, I wouldn't say stitching problems, not stitching problems, but sometimes you can see, like, say for example, in like really, really bright sunlight, you sometimes be able to see the stitch line slightly. I think your human brain like slightly ignores this, like, because when I'm watching, I slightly ignore this, and I don't really like focus on it, and the video content is fine, it's great. But I was saying, if you like, say for example, if you're like really looking at every detail, you may see a slight stitch line, if like sometimes. That's only in certain situations. So for example, like extreme sunlight, for example, like that. But overall, I don't find any problems with it, to be honest. I think they did improve this in the One X2, perhaps. I'm guessing, and they may have, I'm not sure. If you do some research, you may find that they've improved that in the One X2. If I had the One X2, then I'll definitely do a comparison video and see, but I don't. Another disadvantage I'll say is that you need the venture case for it to go underwater. I feel as though if it was maybe able to be waterproof in itself without the case as an add-on, I think that would be great. Especially because when you put the case completely over the top of it, I feel as though, and I've seen in videos that it has like slightly changed the quality, not the quality, but it slightly affects the output of the image, because obviously you've got a case over it, and so the camera's shooting through the case and then capturing what you see around it, so it does affect the actual quality of that. So I feel as though if they made that waterproof without the case, then obviously that wouldn't be a problem and it'd be amazing. So overall, guys, would I recommend the Insta360 One X? Yes, I would, 100%. Especially to any aspiring content creators or people wanting to make content with regards to sports, exploration, or any just general content where they feel like a 360 camera could be useful. I definitely would recommend it. It allows you to capture angles that you wouldn't have thought possible, or hard, just any like activity which is normally hard to record, for example skating, without a cameraman. So it's definitely very useful, and it's even good for like just memory, like creating memories. So for example, like vlogs, I'll definitely use this for vlogs, because say for example I go to the city with my friends, or like do something like that, and like, it will capture the whole angle and like view things that I couldn't have even seen that are behind me, for example. So it's great, and like you can look back at those memories and it's amazing. Also, editing on it is pretty simple. There's a learning curve, but you'll definitely get there. However, you need to consider the disadvantages I have mentioned, such as the poor image quality in low light, and maybe some slight stitching problems. And the durability, of course. But I feel as though apart from that, though, it's a great overall camera. And it's definitely worth the money. I would say I paid for it. I think I wouldn't have paid any more for it than I did. Like I said, I'll probably pay £200 to £300 for this kind of camera, but I know they start usually at like 400 plus. But overall, I do recommend it. If you guys have any questions, guys, about things that maybe I've missed or not covered or in depth enough for you, just let me know, and I'll definitely answer them in the description. So guys, if you do want to purchase this camera, please check my affiliate link below in the description. You can purchase the camera through here. Also, I'm going to put another link there for the memory card if you want to purchase that through my affiliate link as well. The one that I use, which I think is very good, and it never had any problems with it. So it's a great memory card. Yeah, so if you look in the description, you'll see those links.
Yo guys, so that was a review of the Insta360 One X. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. So that was another technology review for you guys. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Stay humble, stay peaceful, stay blessed. Kofi out. You know the deal.